What's up fellow humans, my name is Tanik and welcome back to Super Smash Bros. But not World of Light this time actually. Instead, we are in the Ventanic replay archives, all the saved replay data from my online matches, since they got deleted again the last time. These are all rather recent. The oldest one is from the 13th, today is the 23rd. And I want to go through all of these and just commentate a bit over them, show some highlights. Of course, I don't show all of them, and I just pick some highlights from them, because otherwise if I would go through all of them completely, that would just be way too long for a video. That would maybe be a live stream, but definitely not a video. So I thought about making this just a montage with music, but I actually do want to commentate over them, and I think I can give some more context by commentating over it as well, and a bit of opinion. So I'm gonna try it like this. I'm not sure how this is gonna go, because I wanna actually just commentate over the highlights, which sometimes just you realize that they're actually highlights because of the context which happens after them. So this is not gonna be so easy, but I'm gonna try to do this and see how it goes. I started off with Cloud, then I moved on to Joker, then Robin, and then ended with Mewtwo. Mewtwo actually became one of my mains, maybe my new main, but we're gonna get to that in a bit. So we're starting off with this one. This was a team battle, 2 versus 2. I actually had set that as my preferred rules for all of these, except the online tournament battles, of course. But the online tournament battles, pronunciation, because all of these are online, but not all of these are in a tournament. Most of these are actually quick play with these preferred rules, team sets, team and without items, and without stage hazards, but any stage. So this match actually started out pretty evenly, but right there Fox actually grabbed Rob and just kept hitting him while I slashed through him with the laser sword. The laser sword obviously means there are items in this, not my preferred rule set again, but yeah, if you play Smash you know how the online mode works. So there are items in some of these. Alright, so Fox finally got the thing, but missed it. I think Fox doesn't really have the best precision, or maybe was a little bit nervous. He missed his final smash and then he missed the item as well. But here I get Rob just with the dash attack. I like to do it that when I get my limit break or my final smash, that I don't actually use it for quite a long while, because the enemy just doesn't dare to attack me, so I actually take that as my advantage. And here I get both of them with my Omni slash final smash again, and that sets the game. Game set. This next one, if you look at the time there, is actually pretty short, 1 minute and 9 seconds. So I assume then, I can't remember, but I assume I did just destroy the enemy. I like to save matches where I destroy the enemy as well as matches where that are really close, because in the ones where I destroy the enemy, usually I just play pretty optimal, and I like to save those for future reference for myself, for how I can actually play well with that fighter. I played against Shulk here. Shulk is a really good character, but really difficult character to play as well. With Shulk you just have to stay calm, I think. Shulk isn't really the fastest, and he does have to kind of think strategically, so you just have to stay calm and use the right stuff at the right moment. So far the match is rather one-sided. I mean, he's at 168% now. And I actually juggled him a bit there. I juggled him quite often in this match. And he just committed suicide. So yeah, I basically just destroyed him in this. But I was also charging my limit break while he respawned. So he was like, nope, okay, I'm out of here. Whoops, no, not replay, come on. In this one, I fight against Lucina in Green Hill Zone, and I remember this match. This actually went really well for me. It happens to me very often that once I'm really in the lead, and I realize that then suddenly I'm getting worried that I mess up, and then I do actually mess up. But recently my mess ups weren't really that big, and then it's even more rewarding to actually keep destroying the enemy, and that's actually really fun then as well. So I got my final smash on her. Obviously that's a huge advantage for me already. The up smash with Cloud is actually really good to keep enemies away from you, no matter at what height they are. You just have to judge the distance correctly and then use it at the right time before they are able to hit you. It's also really good to poke through platforms, of course. I barely use my up tilt or side tilt during most of these matches. I only start using them when I play with Mewtwo, because, I don't know, I just kind of looked more into what moves Mewtwo can do, and actually realized how good the tilts can be. And I also kind of tweaked the sensitivity as much as I can in Super Smash Bros. To be able to use them better. So yeah, I don't use them in these, but I do use pretty much everything else. So right there, I'm just carrying her off stage, basically. Yeah, and then she just gave up. I mean, I had still 3 stocks and just 99% damage. So this one is actually a bit of a longer match. This is a 3-player free-fall, and yeah, they actually really bullied me there. King DDD just helped me in place, while Link just shot his arrows in my face. Actually in my back, I think. But yeah, I got my limit break. King DDD is kind of camping at the ledge. I believe that's because, yeah, he's trying to attack someone in and carry them off stage, and then tries to slash them further down, or just normally go back up and hope that the other one can't recover, which is kind of an annoying tactic, but not really that effective either, so it's fine. I'm not too salty over it. Yeah, they used it. Actually, it worked against Link there. I didn't quite remember that actually happened. So I suppose it can be pretty effective. But I believe he didn't get me with it even a single time. Ah, there he actually tried to get me with that, but didn't manage. He did probably get Link though. No, Link actually recovered on the other side of the stage. That's also pretty close though. Didn't remember that either. Kinda just paid attention to myself there, as you usually do in fighting games. Well, I suppose if you're really good at fighting games and good at multitasking, you can pay attention to everyone. Also, another thing I wanna note, which you're gonna notice in most of these battles, is, for example, here with Cloud, I could just stand back and charge my limit break, but I don't do that. I don't charge my Shadow Ball just the whole time with Mewtwo either, because I just don't want to be that guy who just sits back and charges his stuff and doesn't actually engage in combat, and then just, yeah, just steals the kills and wins because of that. I do actually sometimes charge it a little bit, but then I immediately just jump back in and fight against them again. Except if I'm losing. If I just, for example, on the boat stage from Wind Waker, when I jumped off the boat and accidentally got hit by the front, just all on my own, and I lose a stock because of that, then I actually stay back and charge to get actually a chance to win that match. That was really close on multiple occasions there, in multiple ways. They actually slide underneath his inhaling, which was also pretty neat. The slide from Cloud is really good. So in this next one, it's just a one-on-one versus Roy. So far he managed to zone me out quite a bit with all his different kind of gimmicky attacks, with the little robot and with the cannonball and stuff. But I, and with the card thing, but I did actually adapt to that a bit and try to avoid that stuff a bit more carefully while trying to keep them in the air or off stage. He actually comboed his normal jab into the explosion from the little robot, and oh, oh shit! I forgot that happened. Jesus, oh, that's salt. Oh. Alright, okay. That's actually pretty annoying. But hey, they were greedy. They could have just left me to die there, but nope, they had to jump after me. And that was the end. Jesus, okay. Let's just move on from that. Ooh. In this battle, I actually switched to Joker, and I was playing against RNG. I mean, the hero. Yeah, that's his name. Kind of confuse the two sometimes. And just from thinking about the fighters, I think Joker does have a pretty good chance against a hero, because Joker is quite agile, and he can deal a lot of small damage, which racks up over time, and it can sometimes overwhelm the enemy as well. He doesn't really have that strong of a punch, really. except that maybe. So the thing is, he can avoid most of the heavy attacks from the hero decently well, while also just then coming back at him with a lot of smaller damage. Or just reflect it back at him and win. That was actually very quick. So here I was battling against whoops, no, damn it. How do I how do I switch back again? There we go, okay. Wanted to just type the display. Yeah, I battled against the Shulk and a Joker. What happened there? Anyway, now it's Joker against Joker then, I suppose. Oh, that was actually a pretty sick combo. Sliding underneath the other Joker and then using the up air to just deal some more damage and carrying him across the stage a little bit. And he messed up his recovery there, which is quite unfortunate. And that's it. That's it. This time around it was Joker versus Hero again, agility versus RNG. As you can kind of see, I tried to get out of the way of the close vicinity of the hero and just kind of jump around him, except if I win a counter maybe, to just avoid his attacks and then deal a little bit of counter damage and rack up damage on him that way. Until I find a chance to actually get a good hit on him, like there. The hero is already on his last stock with quite a bit of damage racked up. I'm only at my second with 11%, so it's looking pretty dang good for me. But I still try to be to approach him a little bit more careful and just kind of jump towards him, shield again, and predict where he's gonna go. And that's how I got him in the end, just smash attacking in the opposite direction. So for this one I actually switched back to Cloud. This might be the last match that I saved with Cloud, not sure. Might have switched to Robin after this match, or maybe one or two more battles. I actually fought against two Fire Emblem characters here, two sword fighters. I charged my limit break right here because I had a bit of a defense set up with the turret. So I thought that wasn't too annoying of gameplay, because the other guy could have approached me, but he didn't dare to because of the turret. So I think that was fine. Also, another thing I do in all of these battles with more than one enemy is that I try to attack both of the, or all of the enemies equally much. That kind of mentality, of course, sometimes means that both of the enemies might be focusing on me, but I just like to be a fair player, and usually they don't actually. Usually they play fair then as well, which is neat. That makes for the most fun games. Oh, I barely dodged that final smash. And that's it with Ike. He tried to get back on stage, but kind of overshot it. So now it's just me versus Roy. So I kind of tried to control the middle of the stage, but when I got the Helper Trophy, I kind of lost that control of the middle stage. But of course, the Helper Trophies are always really useful, and Pokeballs as well. I did have quite a bit of luck that both of them spawned right next to me. I got my final smash, and I actually used that to get back on stage and then kill him with a dash attack, which was quite the interesting strategy. And he definitely did not expect that. I was lucky to get my final smash right in that moment, but it was also pretty amazing to actually get that idea right away, to get back on the stage with the final smash. This is finally another team battle. And it's over. That's it. There is no more. So after that intense last team battle, we move on to another team battle. Finally, as I tried to say in the previous one, but didn't have the time to, because we were just too good and won immediately. This is a timed battle, not with stock. There, pay attention to the hero which took the clock there. I actually continued beating him up while in slow motion. Then I grabbed onto the ledge and dodged his attack during that, because I was invincible because of that. And he actually didn't manage to hit me even once. I'm still at 0% damage. Then I got both of them with my final smash. Intentionally broke the fake smash ball to kill one of them. Whoa, yes, oh gosh. If you didn't see what happened there, the party ball opened and only bombs came out of it, and I immediately blew all of them up. And I died from that, but I also did quite a bit of damage to the others. So, it was a fair trade, I think. So we're staying on the stage, but I switched character to Robin, and now I'm actually playing against the Cloud. And there again, I charged my laser once, but I didn't then go back and charge it again and again. Although I probably could have, because that's just kind of the beef jerky thing to do. Oh, there was quite a bunch of careful dodging there on that little platform between my attacks and his attacks, the Cloud's. That was also pretty neat. Sometimes I use the up smash, up B, I mean, to actually not only propel myself upwards, but also attack the enemies, and in that case I also attack the smash ball at the same time. So I got my smash attack. So far I didn't want to use it, really. I wanted to kind of stall them out a bit, and then wait for the perfect opportunity. Because of course, the longer you have the smash attack, but don't use it, the more difficult it gets to, for the enemy to predict when you're gonna use it. And he just barely overshoots me because I just landed and was still ducked, and he just commits suicide. That happened to me quite a lot of times as well, actually, with Cloud. So that definitely can happen, because Cloud's final smash is just you shoot across the stage for a really long distance, and you can't shoot back. At least I didn't manage to. Usually you're just told in the other direction, and then you can shoot back as well. But nope, Cloud's final smash is just so long that you sacrifice going back for just distance, and that can also get you killed quite often if you miss the opponent. So in this battle I'm fighting against Cloud and Little Mac, which could be pretty scary for me. They did, however, at least at the beginning here, focus quite on each other. Again, as I mentioned earlier, I don't like just standing outside of the battle, just charging all my stuff the whole time. So I do try to engage with the battle rather often, but it is pretty risky for me to engage with it. So I do have to kind of pick up my moments. So I have my laser charged, and I used it at a really good moment, actually the perfect moment there. So next up here we actually have a one-on-one, which plays quite differently from a team battle or a free-for-all when you play as Robin. Because of course you have to be really careful that the enemy doesn't just keep you from using any of your more complicated strats. I have to weave around his attacks. Of course he tries to approach me directly while I try to keep a bit of a distance. I try to make it as difficult as possible for him to approach me, so he doesn't even dare to approach me, and I counter-attack as much as I can, so that I can then actually use it to my advantage that he doesn't approach me directly, and I can unleash some of my more complicated attacks, and kind of confuse him a bit more as well, and just kind of sneak around him. So this match is actually against the same Ike. We had a couple of battles to and fro. And he was really determined to defeat me, because of course he got close to it quite a bunch of times, but I just barely sneaked around him and got the counter hits on him. So he was eager to change that. Now I have to be careful not to get too greedy and to let him get a comeback, but I actually destroyed him rather, you could say right away afterwards. So in this battle, there was actually the same Ike again, and because of the bit of rivalry that we had going on, of course he focused me immediately. And now only me and Ike remained there for a moment, which was kind of fitting. We were just standing on the opposite sides, just staring at each other, the two rivals. And I got the hero with the flame while I was falling off stage, which is also always a very unexpected thing, and can be really good because of that. They kind of teamed up on me there, but I did manage to survive. Tried to do the flame off stage again, but didn't quite work out, and then I only had half of my recovery. Now I actually looked at the percentages and the stocks, and I saw that the hero was just stalling, so I went to focus the hero. Ike actually saved me from the snooze there, And then I got both of them with a very, very good hit there. Because of that. Because Ike was hit by Snooze, and the hero tried to attack Ike. So now it's just me against Ike again, and that was also again really fitting. So again, I had to be careful not to get too greedy, although he was at quite high percent, because it could turn quite quickly, and he could pressure me a lot with the sword. But I actually managed to get the meteor on him there as he tried to edgeguard me, and that decided that match. So now we've reached the point where this is the first battle that I saved where I played with Mewtwo. So one little combo that I tried to use whenever I could is running up to the enemy and using the down tilt and then side air, because that actually is a pretty good combo. It's easy to do and racks up quite a bit of damage. Also, mostly safe. Not entirely, not always, but mostly. Here, this match was all about Aura versus Aura, basically. Mewtwo versus Lucario. And on this little stage, some things were kind of more difficult for me to pull off. But overall, it wasn't too bad because of the platforms. The platforms actually gave me quite good maneuverability and options for me to kind of weave around the enemy. We kind of just weaved around each other for quite a bit in this match, especially because it's such a small stage. You kind of have to pay attention to play more safe. I intentionally didn't attack him there to wait out his counter. I do play a little bit more reckless right after to just try and sacrifice my safety for racking up damage. I don't do that too heavily because, of course, I don't want to lose my advantage immediately, but it can be really good, like there. This match was against the Mega Man, which can be quite annoying because of the little pellets he can shoot, which I can reflect, but only a couple of those, and then I get hit right afterwards again, so it doesn't really do anything reflecting those most of the time. So I kind of just have to pressure him the whole time, which I'm doing here, to stop him from annoying me like that. I meteored him down onto the ground, then fast fell underneath him and launched him back up and kind of juggled him until ending that in an up smash. Yes, this match was against the Bowser, and that Bowser started off actually completely annihilating me. I was like, oh fuck, who is this guy? Is this a YouTuber? Is this like an actual pro player? And I was thinking at the beginning there's no chance I'm gonna be able to win this, because I was already at 50% and he was still at 0. 0.0. It was at 69 at this point off stage. He almost got me there. It was looking really bad for me. I don't know why I didn't grab there. I suppose I tried to get a mix-up or something, I don't know. Maybe I just panicked. I tried to actually stun him there, but he was barely out of my range. So now it was at 105%, it was still at 0. I think at that point I again looked at his percent and I was like, oh no. I really tried to make it to my advantage when he used that side smash, because he did use it quite often. There I finally got the first percents on him, which I was happy about. I did kind of mix my attacks up with the neutral air there, which he wasn't expecting, so I did it a couple of more times, and I managed to get another neat combo on him after that. And I kind of disrupted his flow at that point, as it seemed, because now I was looking at a pretty good comeback actually. I was quite surprised. There he got me. But hey, he was at 94%, so I was actually more hopeful now. Actually, kind of juggled him there. I tried to do it again. I tried to do the up smash again and kind of just catching him and then launching him back up, which didn't quite work. But then I got a nice grab on him, and that was the end of that. So that was a pretty intense comeback. I don't know what happened there. I kind of... Once I hit him the first time... Whoops, no. Once I hit him the first time, I just completely disrupted his flow, as it seems. This match was against an Ike, which, again, of course, I have to be careful, just like with Robin, to not let him approach me too easily. That can be a little bit more difficult playing as Mewtwo, because you don't really have that much zoning stuff. but you just have to be careful to try and hit the enemy first, weave around him, and then counter. The Ike, however, stayed on the right side for almost the whole time, so I kinda was also forced to go to the right side, because again, I don't like just standing around at the side. He almost got me there, but the slope actually saved me. I got a comeback. Now I'm at my last stock at 87%, and he's at 0. So I kinda just try to shoot a couple of Shadow Balls, make him actually approach me, maybe get a free hit. Now I was thinking I shoot the Shadow Ball and attack him right after, but because of his jumping there, I actually kinda had to abort that plan. There I thought that was it. But no, I scratched the Blast Zone, but I survived. So now I was really careful. I knew I couldn't take too many risks. So I tried to lure him again to over here. And now it's like, okay, yes, okay, he's approaching me, approach me again. Come on, do it again. I needed to get behind him. Get right in front of him, actually, safely, so I can land my back throw. That was my plan, the whole time I was standing there. And there I got it. And that decided the match. I just needed that back throw, I knew it was gonna kill. Ah yes, this match. This map is just, this stage is just so weird. I also like to confuse the enemy by changing which position I kind of want them in. Because sometimes I throw them backwards, but then when they hit me, I can just change it and actually launch them forward, and they don't expect it. So then I don't really try to block attacks that would launch them in that direction. So then I can just rack up damage on them, and then maybe even launch to the other side, and then I can grab them from that side. I just needed to get one kill on him. I knew that was all I needed, and all I could get in this time. Was only 12 seconds left, and I actually managed to hit him. And now I knew I had already won, because he tried to get me. I can just do that. Nope. 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 Which must have been quite annoying for him at the last moment there. But hey, he spammed fireballs from the top platform earlier, so that's what he gets. Here we have a team battle again, finally, with actually the same Mario. And Bowser, who looks the same like the one from before, but I don't think that's actually the same. I believe that's someone else. Can't see the names of this, but I believe that's someone else. In this match, we actually completely destroyed them. That Mario was actually pretty good. You might have seen a bit of that in the previous match, but in the matches I had with him before, he actually won against me, like 2 or 3 times. We had quite a couple of matches back and forth. And here he got just completely destroyed by me and Bowser. So now it was just that me brawler left. Bowser tried to get him through that gap there. Sadly didn't work. Would have been quite amazing. Would have made the match even shorter. Now he just launched him up and down there. And back and forth as well. And then he just fell into that. So now he had only 1 stock left. Basically no chance, so he just... bye. And we actually had the same poses at the end as well, me and Bowser, which was pretty sick. Pretty sick win screen. Best team. And with that, we have reached the last replay that I've saved. I'm actually gonna just talk over this, not only about what's happening in the match, but also about this video, because this video was actually quite difficult to record. I've been recording for 1.5 hours. Trying to commentate over all that stuff, kind of just guessing which highlights you're gonna keep, which are gonna be the best highlights. This is kind of difficult, and it's just difficult to be ready to commentate and commentate a lot over 1.5 hours. So if I'm gonna do something like this again in the future, I'm probably either just gonna take really only a few matches, so like 5, or I'm gonna make a music montage out of it, but I'm not gonna commentate over this many battles again. But hey, I'm gonna try these things. I wasn't sure how this was gonna work, but now I know. This match was actually against 2 guys who were in the team for like the previous 5 matches against me and someone else all the time. Me and a random other teammate. And they always won. So I was determined to win this. I was determined to destroy them, because it seemed like I was the reason I was losing the whole time. But when I was actually battling against these two, like here, I think it got clearer and clearer that it wasn't actually me who was the reason. And I wanted to get my ranking back, of course, as well. So I was determined to win this. That Meta Knight was definitely the better of those two. Ganondorf also wasn't bad, but the Meta Knight was definitely the better of those two. And the Meta Knight definitely focused me there as well. Yeah. Funnily enough, he focused me the whole time, didn't manage to kill me, and I actually managed to get good hits back on him as a counter. And then he actually killed me when he wasn't attacking me. So maybe that's a good lesson for him. Don't just focus one person, but actually play fairly. Whatever happened in the previous matches. We don't need to talk about that. No, I played fairly as well, but still. It was always the case with these two around that I had to be really careful to get out of the way of all those heavier attacks and all the slashing. It was really difficult to land anywhere once I was off stage, especially if they both kind of focused me. They never really both only focused me, but sometimes they kind of focused me together, like there. Kind of beat me up together. So there was Ganondorf with the heavy attacks all over the place, and then the Meta Knight with all the, yeah, with just the huge amount of attacks. It was just constant slashing. So it was difficult to, and agility, so it was difficult to land anywhere. Also considering the lag of the teleport. The teleport was most of the times my best option, but still pretty difficult. Got punished for it quite a bunch of times. So I got Meta Knight there. That's actually a Meta Knight out of the game. He really focused me a lot in that game, which kind of led to his demise. He should have played a bit more carefully. Landed a nice Shadow Ball there. Wasn't actually expecting to hit him with that, just went for it. I actually was expecting him to dodge that and then me being able to edge guard him better. But I wasn't complaining, of course. So now it was only me versus Ganondorf, and I was, yeah, pretty confident. He got me there, but he was at 63%, and again, Meta Knight was definitely the better of those two. So it definitely felt easier for me now, and I had way more of the stage for me. Had way more freedom. Of course, I needed to keep a bit of distance from that Ganondorf at pretty much all times, because I didn't want to get hit of any of his longer range attacks or stuff like that. It was actually a really scary moment, but luckily I was only at 22%. So I was thinking if I should go for a back throw, but I usually only go for back throws as a kill when the enemy is at 110%, like that. So now I was ready for a back attack, a back throw, but I didn't even need it. It just got him with the edge guard. Otherwise I would probably kill him with the back throw. And that does it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope my editing could fix this video a bit, because you're not gonna watch 1.5 hours of this, no. And I'm gonna have to cut a bunch of that out to make this video shorter. This is gonna be a lot of editing, but I hope it turned out good. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, leave a like, and you're probably not gonna see a video just like this again. But maybe in kind of that style, with fewer replays, or maybe a montage with music. So either one of those, but not as many matches as this again. So yeah, that's gonna do for this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, leave a like, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye!